Hello, everyone. I'm Lenny Martin, and I am with Joe Jocelevich and TJ Raleigh, and we are JLR Sports Betting. In today's podcast, we will give you a recap of last night's parlay and fantasy lineup, and Joe and TJ will go over their parlays of the day for college basketball. So right now, I'm going to share my screen with everybody, and I'm going to show you the parlays that we put in last night. And here we have it. We have Malcolm Brogdon over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and he went over that mark by a couple points. We had the Greek Freak really stepped up in the second half. Points, rebounds, assists. He had over 38.5. I believe he was in about that 45 to 50 range. And we had Jokic over 27.5 points and rebounds. He went over that big time. And we ended up putting $20 on that, winning 46.84. The second part of that bet with Drummond and Vucevic, they didn't really come to play. You know what I mean? Drummond had a lot of rebounds, about 15, but only scored 4 points. And Vucevic had 10 and 6, way below the numbers that we projected. But, you know, we'll go back to them another day. It was just a tough night for them. For right now, we're going to jump in right into our college basketball. We'll start off with TJ Raleigh and his parlay of the day.
Thanks, Len, and good afternoon, everyone. With the fantasy football season winding down, a little bit of a hiatus before the big game next week, definitely thought it's going to be a good week to throw in some bets on the college basketball scene. So as you can see on the screen, we went ahead with the 5-game parlay on DraftKings Sportsbook. Just to call out as well, we do also have a opt-in promo going for DraftKings, a 20% profit boost on any 4+ college basketball parlays. So if you guys are interested, definitely take advantage of that promo. But yeah, just going into a couple of my picks, just going from strongest confidence to least confidence. Listen, the average total of the Badger games on the road this season is around 130 points. You know, I do expect the Badgers team to be able to control the pace of the game pretty comfortably, which will pull that game total down here. As long as Wisconsin controls from start to finish, I think this is a pretty easy under to take there. Flipping over to the Nova Seton Hall game, we have that at over 142.5. I think both teams are going to put up some points here. A little hesitant with picking anything with Nova on the spread, which I think Joe will talk about a little bit more in depth on his picks. But, you know, this is going to be their first road game since around Christmas time. So, you know, again, I do think points will be scored. Wanted to stay away from the spread there, but I think this will be a pretty entertaining game. So going with the over on that. Next two are going to be really about, you know, picking the defensive teams here, who's better on the defensive side of the ball. So the first game that I'm going to talk through is Texas Tech, a -3.5. So this is going to be one of the better SEC Big 12 games going on today. Two good offenses, particularly Matt McClung on the Texas Tech side, great shooting guard, as well as Cam Thompson on the LSU side. Again, differentiating factor here is Texas Tech has an elite defense. So while they have struggled the past 2 games against Baylor and West Virginia, I do think they turn it around today. So again, taking the -3.5 for Texas Tech. The fourth I have is Texas A&M at -2. Again, both these teams are struggling. Not really great as far as the offense goes. But again, I think with Texas A&M, a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball. Kansas State, very limited on offense, particularly. They have one kind of go-to scorer that can take it to the hole and really create a shot. Outside of that, you know, they've really struggled in conference play, 1-8 in conference play, and they've lost the last 7 straight. And then also just keeping in mind as well, too, with Texas A&M, they are actually pretty decent as of lately. They are 6-0 against the spread in games where they're their favorite. So, again, we're going to take A&M with the -2. And then the last one that I have, which I'll say is probably my least confident, but we're going to give it a shot here, is the over in the Virginia Tech game at 124. Most people know Virginia Tech is usually one of the better defenses in the country. Combining that with Virginia with one of the better defenses, but combining that with Virginia Tech being without one of their starting guards, who is one of their higher scorers on the team, a little uneasy about picking the over here. But, you know, definitely thinking this is a gut feel. And then the total in the last 5 of the last 6 games Virginia has gone over. They're really riding a nice wave offensively, so really thinking they should be able to cover the 124 pretty easily.
All right. Well, thank you, TJ. Appreciate that. He looks like some solid matchups today, and, if you put that parlay in and what TJ talked about, the 20% profit boost, totally up to you. You want to put like a $5 bet on that? $5 will get you about 150, $10 about that 300 range. You could bet up to $50. And maybe there's a game that you don't like that TJ mentioned. You can put every game in a single. So if 4 out of 5 come in, you still make some money. Or you could go to the round robins where you could do 2-pick or 3-pick parlay for all of them, where one team loses, you still make the money. So, T, really appreciate the analysis. Looks good. I'm definitely going to put it in on my side, and hopefully we all can win together. And then next, we're going to move on to Joe Justilevich. He got his parlay of the day on his side. Joe, you want to talk about your parlay?
Yes, sir. We're going to start with the Florida State-Georgia Tech matchup. Florida State comes into this matchup today. Winners of their last 5 games by an average of 18 points a game. And that's pretty good in the ACC. We're blowing teams out by an average of 18. They currently sit in second in the ACC behind Virginia, so they're still chasing Virginia. On the flip side, Georgia Tech comes into today's game on a 2-game losing streak. Unfortunately for them, I think it's going to be 3. I love Florida State team. They're from 14 last year if there was a tournament. And I think they're going to make a potential deep run into the tournament this year. So there's too much firepower for Florida State. So I'm going to go money line. I'm going to take Florida State. The second pick in the second game I want to go over is going to be the Villanova-Seton Hall game. To go to T's point, I think this is an up and down game. You're going to have a back and forth up and down the floor. These two teams just played recently. It was a 2-point game. It was a close game. I'm just going to break it down. Villanova enters today's matchup number 1 in the Big East, number 3 in the nation. Villanova is 10-1 on the season. I mean, they're a powerhouse every year. Good coaching with Jay Wright. And they're just coming off a big win against Providence. They even knocked them out by 15 points. Providence is a pretty good team. Seton Hall, on the other hand, they come in losers of 2 in a row. Just lost a pretty close game against Creighton by 4 to drop to 9-7 on the season. So what I'm going for here is Villanova. The real flexes muscle improved last time out that it shouldn't have been that close. I look for Nova convincingly today against Seton Hall. Again, we're going to go money line on that, though, just to play it safe. So statement win for Villanova. The next game I'm going to look at could be the game of the day. We're going to look at Alabama against Oklahoma. Alabama, I believe, right now is one of the best teams in the country. They're 14-3 on the season, undefeated in the SEC. I think the SEC is kind of having a down season, but they're undefeated. They're 34th in scoring at 81 points a game. The Sooners are coming into the game on the flip side with a high-scoring offense as well. They're having 77.6 points a game. Huge victories against Kansas and Texas on back-to-back. So they play good competition. They had 2 solid wins. I like Alabama here. I like Alabama to actually make a run, not only for a conference championship, but for a national title. I think the Crimson Tide have more pieces. I think that they just have more firepower. They're better on defense and they're better on offense, and it's going to show today. Take Alabama. I roll Tide today on the money line, of course. The next game I'm going to look at is the Oklahoma State game. Oklahoma State and Arkansas. Oklahoma State's going to sub back today. Cunningham, all indications are that he's going to play today, and that's going to boost Oklahoma State. Arkansas is allowing teams to shoot 55% from the field from the 2-point. So inside the arc, we're going 55%, and I'll take that all day. And that's where the bread and butter is for Oklahoma State. It's not a team that shoots a lot of outside shots. It's not a team that shoots a lot of 3-pointers. So with Cunningham coming back today, I definitely like Oklahoma State. It may be close. The first half I expect to be close this game, but I think as the game wears on, Oklahoma State's going to pull away and they're going to come out with the victory here today. The next game I'm looking at is Georgetown and Providence. Now, Georgetown is terrible. Georgetown, first of all, they haven't taken the floor in about a month. And before the absence, they were on a 5-game losing streak. Providence comes in winning 2 of their last 3. They just got blown out by Villanova, but Villanova is a championship team, so that's not going to deter me if I'm playing Providence against a terrible Georgetown team. My pick is Providence in convincing fashion. It should be a double-digit victory today against just a terrible Hoya team. I think Georgetown is 224th in total offense. Providence, I believe, is 98th in total offense. So, I mean, that's the narrative right there, and that'll be the story for today. And that's where we're gonna ride here with my parlay for today. Definitely use that 20% as TJ mentioned before. It's going to be a boost. I'm not going to throw 50 on, but I will throw 10. So if you want to put 10, I think that's good for about 130, maybe 120, $130 winner. And I'm pretty confident in that that's going to come in today.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of good matchups. As you can see, Alabama, a lot of people are jumping on right now. So, as soon as you see the video, you want to put this bet in, make sure you put in as soon as possible. The tips are 12 o'clock. So just to remind everybody, we got a new Facebook page, JLR Sports Betting. So give it a check out, give us a like, comment. And guys, I really appreciate you coming in today and giving your analysis. And just to remind everybody, we are JLR Sports Betting, and you guys have a good day.